Okay, our next speaker is Andy Pollock. Mr. Pollock, are you there? You are on the phone line.
Hello.
There you are. Okay, Mr. Pollock, you have 3 minutes to speak, and you can start whenever you are ready.
Okay, I'm ready to go. Good afternoon, legislators. Once again, I'm Andy Pollock. I'm the public advisor to Passengers United. My comments didn't come through clear the last time on Zoom, so this time I am using my cell phone to speak to you all this afternoon. So let's go to my points I made back in October. First of all, let's talk about what we're going to discuss, the Suffolk County bus cuts. I previously had discussed losing the S54 would be a heartbreak to me because that would mean I'd have no way to get to Comac from the Walt Whitman Mall when I would transfer from the S1 bus in Huntington or when I take the S1 from Amityville. So I really hope the 54 does not get cut because then, no possible way for me to get to where I need to go. Also, without the 54, how would I get to Patchogue? So I'm just going to bring that up. Ronkonkoma. All of the routes are going to get cut in Ronkonkoma. I'm completely devastated hearing about the S57 potentially getting cut. That would mean I have no way to get to Lake Ronkonkoma. I like the S59 because it goes straight up Hawkins Avenue, makes the left on Middle Country, and then takes me right to the mall. So I do not want to see those routes get cut whatsoever. And other point I want to make is that another major route. Why is the S62 even being considered? If you got the S62, how are people on the North Shore supposed to get around Miller Place, Rocky Point, Shoreham, and Wading River? That would be completely unacceptable. And then taking another bus route away from Riverhead, I find that very bad. And I should have made this point. One more point before I'm done wrapping up. I'm also looking that the 10C may get cut as well. So there's going to be no bus route in Montauk. So I'm just going to quickly bring that up. So with that, thank you all very much. I yield my time.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Pollock. Does anybody have any questions? No? Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Pollock. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Hold on, Legislator Fleming. I'm trying to measure. It's a little bit of a challenge. I've got 8 people in the room and 10 people on Zoom, and I'm trying to figure it all out. I apologize. Legislator Fleming, go ahead.
It's super hard, for sure. Thank you, Mr. Pollock, for coming and speaking on this incredibly important subject. Thank you for including your brothers and sisters in East Hampton who are threatened with losing all public bus service under these cuts. Just want to ask you, I really appreciate you're putting a name and a face to the folks who are going to be impacted if these bus cuts go through. What is your alternative? I don't mean to single you out personally, but just trying to amplify your point and the opportunity that we have to understand the human impacts of what's happening here. What are your alternatives in terms of getting to work, getting to the doctor, getting to necessary appointments if these 2 buses that you use frequently are cut?
Now, what routes are we talking about?
Well, you spoke about 2 routes that you take frequently that are threatened to be cut. I'm wondering if you don't have the routes that you normally take, what's your alternative?
Oh, well, for the record, I'm only in Suffolk County for leisure.
I'm sorry?
That's the record. I only use Suffolk County bus for leisure.
Okay. And are you familiar with others who who take these buses on a regular basis? Like, I'm just, as a coastal community that has to reduce our carbon emissions, trying to support our local governments and their employees. I just love the fact that you came to speak to us because it gives us an opportunity to see, like, what are the alternatives? If you can't take a bus, what do you do?
Well, I'll get into Comac. First of all, my alternative would be going to Comac. I could go to Bayshore, or I can go to Northport and just take the S41. So my issue with Comac, I guess, would sort of be solved in that regard. The good news is I'm looking at the proposed cuts right now. I do not see the S33 cut. I'm just going to double check my list so that way I don't give any inaccurate information. Okay, good. So I do have the S33 from Deer Park. So in a way, I would not be impacted. I can just go to the psychiatric center in Edgewood and take the 41 up that way. So I'm not worried about Comac. My personal concern, and I've been hearing this a lot from other people in Suffolk County, has been Ronkonkoma. With Ronkonkoma, there's going to virtually be no bus service at all. So I am double checking the list. I forgot to mention DS59. That's also going to get cut. So another route that's going to get cut. I would be devastated. Oh yeah, I did bring up the 59. My bad. Excuse me. Without the 59, I'd have no way to get to the mall. So that's gone. The 56, that would be gone. I have no way to get over to Smith Haven Mall. And with the 57, I love Lake Ronkonkoma. And how am I supposed to get to Lake Ronkonkoma and walk all the way from the Ronkonkoma Railroad Station? The bus is perfect. It takes me right by the lake. So I would not be too happy if I lost that route.
I really appreciate it, because certainly, I mean, when we think about the alternatives, either you don't go, we don't have that economic activity, or you have to walk, which isn't available to people without mobility options, or
Correct.
you take alternative bus routes, which doesn't exist in East Hampton if they cut all the buses. So I really do appreciate your putting a face to this, because the human impacts will be devastating.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to make sure that my colleagues had an opportunity to hear all that. So thank you, sir, for coming. Thank you, Rob.
No problem. And again, please focus on Ronkonkoma. That is my message with these bus cuts.
Thank you.
Thank you, Legislator Fleming. Mr. Pollack, don't go anywhere. Legislator Kennedy has a question.
Okay.
Mr. Pollack, thank you for coming out. Thank you for explaining all the bus routes and how it affects Ronkonkoma area is affected with, there's some low-income people that have only the buses to lose. With the S62, that's from the border of Comac, and then we go all the way into Riverhead. That's the entire North Shore of Suffolk County is disabled, and then there are no north-south. The 2 buses have been cut on that. So basically, these cuts have affected the entire North Shore and central part of the island. I understand we didn't spend our money well, and we have overspent, but taking buses from the poor is not the way to do it. I thank you for coming out to speak.
Thank you very much, Legislator Kennedy.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Pollack. We appreciate your time. Anybody else?
Oh,
Okay, I'm gonna let you go.
Thank you.